things@dentistry.com. Well, you see this denture with the 3 big holes in it, and you think, what is that about? Well, this is for picking up a locator abutment, specifically using locator for this attachment. However, sort of want to talk about really quickly some things you might want to look at, just from my personal experience now, and trying to prevent something like this. Now, this hole is a little large, but let me show you why it is. We go to pick up just like a video like Dr. Dre put online, which is excellent. Pick up this little processing cap, little denture. So this is an attachment, a locator attachment cap, and there's a locator abutment. So locator, we use locator typically here in the residency. We don't really use anything else, but we can use other stuff. It's typically used because clinical experience has shown that the height is a significant factor when deciding what type of attachment you use. So it's fairly low profile relative to some of the other products that are out there. But I mean, it's not the best, it's just one tool of many. So that's what we typically use. And this is a little attachment cap that goes around it. And this gets put into the denture. But you see, the problem is, you see the size. So the diameter of that cap is fairly large. Now compare that to this Rhine 83 product, which is a little ball and socket trailer hitch kind of mechanism. So you can see that's much smaller. This is an implant abutment, so they're a little bit higher. And the size of the cap that goes into the prosthesis is much smaller. It has its pros and cons. Once you start making things smaller, then they become almost too small to manage, to manipulate intraorally. So this is one of the O-rings that goes into that. So it's getting it's becoming fairly tiny. But that may be a consideration when you have an implant that you're already down to. This patient has been wearing dentures for 30 years, so she knows exactly how it's supposed to fit, just like a pair of pants. So we relieve this denture in an effort to have no binding. Now, when we seat this denture intraorally, it's moving around, the lip's in the way, the tongue's in the way, patient's slowly getting tired, and what happens is you try to relieve this to a certain point, but you can see how the size of that cap is fairly large, and the area relieved needs to be fairly large too, in an effort to ensure that's not binding, because what will happen is you seat it down, it'll start rocking just like a seesaw, and until you have it relieved enough and it goes down passively, then you know that you're not binding anywhere and affecting the fit of your denture. And here you can see I can't actually get that back through, so that will have to be relieved a little more, and this will have to be relieved still some more because there's a potential to bind. We finished only the first relieving, and then that was enough for this morning. So what's the point? Well, it's important to take those into consideration, the different types of attachments, but it's also important to think that not only the different attachment systems that you have, but the problem is then you start getting all these little pieces. So now there are locator pieces in here, then these are called Rhine 83, then there are different types of attachments. So it may be easy to say, well, we should use that system, but typically what happens is once you start using a system, it's difficult to switch out to another one. So just food for thought when you're deciding on how to restore with different attachments, because they are extremely helpful, and the patients respond really well to having increased retention, especially with a mandibular denture. But there are different brands out there that you might want to take in consideration, especially when you have a small denture like this. Cheers.